You know that feeling when something goes wrong and your brain just panics? What do I do?
That's exactly how I felt a couple weeks ago when I broke my foot. I was scared, I was anxious, and I was kind of mad at myself. I just wanted a time machine to go back in time and not fall and not hurt my foot. But that's not possible. Instead, I remembered what I always teach my students. Stop, take a deep breath, and think, is this a big problem or a small problem? And how can I solve it? Practicing this skill can also help you learn to solve problems in your life.
Problem solving is part of something known as executive functioning skills. I know what you're thinking. What? What are executive functioning skills? Let me explain. Executive functioning skills is just a big term to describe the thinking skills you need to help you make good decisions. And problem solving is just one of those thinking skills that helps us make good decisions. You see, everybody has problems. Some are big and some are small problems. But even small problems can still feel really big sometimes. They can still make you feel anxious, make you feel frustrated, or even disappointed. That's why it's really important that we learn how to stop. Take a deep breath and answer 2 questions. The first question, is this a big problem or a small problem? Big problems are really serious and you can't solve them on your own. These are emergencies or safety concerns that require immediate help. Some examples of emergencies or big problems include you or someone you know is really seriously hurt. Maybe you're having trouble breathing, maybe someone's bleeding a lot. That's a big problem. Maybe you see smoke or a fire. That's also a big problem. Maybe there's a car accident and no one's come to help yet. That's a big problem. If you see someone getting bullied or hurt or attacked, that's also a big problem. One more example might be you get lost or you find someone who's lost. That's also a pretty big problem. Small problems might still make you feel anxious, frustrated. They might even ruin the plans you had, so you'll feel disappointed or left out. But with small problems, no one's in danger. That's a big difference. With small problems, you can usually fix the problem by yourself. You can also find ways to help you feel calm in that situation. Some examples of small problems might include someone cuts in front of you in line. Sure, it's annoying, but it's not dangerous. Maybe a friend cancels plans on you last minute. That can definitely be disappointing. But again, no one's in danger. Just means you have to figure out a different plan. Maybe you dropped your cereal and spilled it everywhere. You can't find your keys or your phone. Maybe you pulled your laundry out of the dryer and it's not dry yet. These are all examples of small problems that are annoying and inconvenient, but it's not an emergency. Now that we did the first step, which was figuring out, is it a big problem or a small problem, we can move on to the second question. How do I solve this problem? This will look a little different if it's a big problem or a small problem. So let's learn together. I know it's hard, but if it's a big emergency, you want to try and stay calm. Take a deep breath and then go get some help. This might mean calling 911. We'll make another video about that another day. But it could also be asking a trusted adult for help. I was running with my daughter when I tripped and rolled my ankle. I was actually on this exact step at the playground. At first, I thought it was a small problem, so I stood up and kept walking. But the pain was getting worse and worse.
So I stopped and I asked myself, is this a big problem or is this a small problem? I couldn't really walk, and I was at the park alone with 2 small kids. That's when I realized this might be a big problem. I tried to stay calm, and I called my husband to come help me with the kids, and I called the doctor so I could go in and have them check my foot.
The doctor took a look at my x-rays and figured out that the bone was broken in my foot. She gave me this big boot to wear to help my foot heal. So that was a big problem. But because I was able to stay calm, I figured out what I needed to do to get some help. And now I just have to wear my boot until I heal. I should put that back on. Sometimes, even when you're dealing with a small problem, it can feel so big and overwhelming, especially when you're really disappointed about something that happened or feeling frazzled and frustrated.
And that's okay. But that's why I want you to try this first step when you feel like you have a small problem. Stop and take a deep breath and try some other coping mechanisms. Maybe you can count to 10 slowly. Maybe you can look and feel the stuff around you to help your body calm down. My personal favorite is I love listening to music to help me calm down. Drinking some water or having a snack can also be something that helps you to calm down. Stretching or calling a friend and talking to them are other ways that might help you to calm down. Once you're feeling calm, it's a little bit easier to think, what can I do to solve this problem or just try and help me feel better? When I broke my foot, even though the big problem was better, I already went to the doctor and got a big boot on my foot, I still faced a lot of smaller problems. I have 2 kids I have to take care of, and that was really hard when I could hardly walk. I actually asked one of my neighbors, and she had a knee scooter, and I use this to get around with my kids. It's actually really fun. Also, the day I broke my foot, I had tickets to the Taylor Swift movie, and I was really excited to go. But I couldn't walk, and I couldn't drive without my foot hurting. Once I calmed down, I was able to think. Well, my friends were already driving there. So I called my friend and said, could you pick me up and take me to the movie? She said, of course. And I also remembered that I had some crutches, so I used those to help me walk. Problem solved. But sometimes there's not really a solution to small problems. My family was coming into town the week after I broke my foot, and we had planned to go to the beach, swim in the ocean, run in the sand. But I couldn't do those things anymore, and I was disappointed and frustrated and angry. Now, I still couldn't do those things, but I did find a way to solve my problem that let me still go to the beach. I just took it slow, walked a little slower, and I figured out if I put a trash bag over my foot, then there wasn't any sand or water getting into my boot, so I could still have some fun at the beach. This is how we solve problems. So when you know the difference between big problems and small problems, this can help you calm down and really figure out, what should I do to solve this? That's problem solving, and that is part of executive functioning skills. Stay tuned and click this video up here for the next executive functioning skill. Also, if you would like some resources to better learn this skill, check the description below and join my email list. Thanks.